Hello and welcome back to ERU, where we round up the biggest results and talking points from across European football. Joining me for your viewing pleasure, it's Henry Bloody Hill. How are you, Henry?
Love that. Great energy for a Monday morning. I'm alright, thank you. I'm pretty cold, I won't lie. Had a proper Sunday yesterday. All my housemates are gone. So after watching the United-Chelsea game, which was enough to almost put me to sleep, certainly the first half.
Wasn't a great game.
I settled in I watched both of the original Spider-Mans back to back. I don't know, getting into Spider-Man fever. So yeah, it was one of those Sundays where I think my housemates turned up and found me just sort of like curled up on the sofa, sort of clearly hadn't moved. Rotting away, exactly. So yeah, anyway, how are you, Tiggy? I hope you had a more productive weekend.
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, I went home, I went back to Yorkshire, my whole family were there, so it was nice to see them. It was my grandparents' 60th wedding anniversary, so we had a bit of a celebration for that.
Wow, amazing.
And no, it was all good, and then came back down yesterday, just in time for that Snorefest at Stamford Bridge. It actually wasn't too bad. The second half was a little bit better. But here we are. And we briefly wanted to mention some events that happened in Portugal over the weekend. Crazy scenes, Henry.
Yeah, a lot of you in the Twitter response quite rightly pointed this out. This is the fact that the Benfica versus Belenenses game was abandoned 7-0 at half-time because I've only ever seen this happen on FIFA when a team runs out of players. You know, when you try and deliberately get players sent off.
Yeah.
Obviously, they've had COVID-related issues, these sort of Portuguese minnows, Belenenses. That's the first time I've seen that happen, the way that COVID's really impacted the game mid-match, certainly. So yeah, that was quite dramatic scene. So yeah, thank you everyone that pointed that out. We'll hopefully be covering a bit more Portuguese football this season on Euro Football Daily.
Absolutely, yeah. Crazy scenes. Never seen anything quite like it. But let's kick off with our story of the week, which is equally mental. Juventus are under investigation. What's going on with this one, Henry?
Yeah, as if it can get much worse for Juventus at the moment. A team really struggling. It's a story that's emerged that Juve are under investigation for false accounting and could face a massive fine or points deduction if they are found guilty. So this came out on Friday. The Italian financial police arrived at the old lady's headquarters to confiscate documents regarding transfers worth over 50 million euros between 2019 and 2020. Funny business going on again in Italian football. So the transfers under investigation include the swap deal between Pjanic and Arthur Melo. I mean, what a shock.
As if it couldn't be bad enough, yeah.
Yeah, who knew? Danilo and the Joao Cancelo transfer as well. Should be worth noting Juve aren't the only club under investigation, with Napoli's 71 million euro deal for Victor Osimhen of Lille, and which saw 4 players valued at £20 million go the other way, also under the spotlight. So that's something worth following as well. And there's some various other transfers going on in Serie D2. Parma, Pescara, Sampdoria, Chievo also potentially included. I mean, you couldn't make it up really, could you? But Doogie, obviously we're at very early stages here. We're not going to rush it. We don't know enough to say sort of guilty and innocent or whatever. But what does this mean for Juve? Because this could be, if all goes as badly as it could do, this could be catastrophic for a club that are really struggling right now.
Absolutely. When it rains, it pours very much for Juve right now, and it would continue a disastrous start to the season for them. They've lost 5 of their 14 league games this season. The most they've lost in any completed season since 2010-11 is 7 under Maurizio Sarri in 2019-20. So they've nearly topped that at this early stage of the season. That obviously included a 1-0 loss to Atalanta at the weekend, which was secured through Duvan Zapata's 7th goal in 7 games.
Yeah.
A wonderful finish from him into the roof of the net. And what's more, they lost 4-0 to Chelsea in midweek last week. That was their heaviest defeat in all competitions since 2004. And I believe their heaviest defeat ever in the Champions League as well. But in terms of the investigation, well, President Andrea Agnelli, who's had a shocking 12 months to say the least, Vice President Pavel Nedved and former sporting director Fabio Paratici, who is now at Spurs, of course, are all under scrutiny. But we can't pretend it's just them. Capital gains through exchange deals, sort of in an effort to balance the books, have been going on in football for years, and it's been discussed a lot in recent years due to the sort of difficulty in establishing exact market values for players that are involved in swap deals. So we saw that with Arthur and Pjanic. Neither of them were probably really valued at anything close to, 70 million and 58 million or something like that. But if you're struggling to balance your books, it's easy, if potentially illegal, way to do it. So I think we'll see a few more cases like this. And as we said, Man City are implicated in this as well with the deal for Joao Cancelo. Napoli are with Victor Osimhen and the 4 players going the other way, 2 of which have ended up in Serie D. So it's not just Juventus, but at the same time, it doesn't really look great for them. And in terms of a precedent, well, the Milan clubs were acquitted in 2008 of the same thing, but Chievo received a 3-point deduction in 2018. So it'll be interesting to see whether the Italian financial police want to make an example of Juventus as one of the, probably the biggest club in Italy, historically the biggest club in Italy at least. And really make an example of them and punish them quite strictly. Obviously, Juventus are now 14 points off Napoli, which is a result we'll come on to in due course, Napoli's result that is, and 7 behind 4th place Atalanta. So they really can't afford a points deduction at this stage of the season, and it heaps even more pressure on a hierarchy that has come under a lot of criticism in the last 12 months with the European Super League as well. So really not good for Juventus at all. Guys, Juve fans, we want to hear from you. Are you worried about this? Do you think you'll be deducted points, or will you just have a slap on the wrist and a minimal fine, as seems to be the case when most people, transgress in football, as it were? So guys, let us know what you guys think is going to happen in the comments down below, and let's move on to our result of the week, because it is an absolute cracker.
Alright, for our result of the week, we're staying in Italy, because at Luke Overs has recommended Napoli 4, Lazio 0, a massive game in the context of Serie A this weekend. I'll be honest, I got this completely wrong in predictions. I had Lazio winning this comfortably. What do I know? Some amazing goals. Doogie, tell us all about it.
Yeah, it was an absolutely magnificent display by Napoli at the Stadio Diego Armando Maradona on the night the little donkeys remembered the great man, coming just about a year and a few days after his unfortunate death in November 2020. So they were playing in shirts emblazoned with his face on, and their forward line were seemingly inspired by the occasion as well. They scored 3 goals in the opening 29 minutes through Zielinski and a brace from Dries Mertens, the second of which, a curling effort from the edge of the area, arcing into the top left-hand corner, was one of my favourite goals of the season so far. Please go check it out if you haven't already. And the Partnopei were in inspired form. They controlled the game with 61% possession. They fired off 18 shots with 8 on target to Lazio's 6 and 2. But XG had it at 1.2 to 0.3, which really goes to show the incredible quality of Napoli's finishing on this occasion. And that defence as well. This was the 4th league game this season where they've constricted their opponents to 0.3 XG or less, also doing so against Bologna, Cagliari and Udinese, and they nearly did it against Fiorentina as well. And it's really that defence that is setting them apart right now. Inter may have scored 34 league goals, which is 4 more than Napoli, but no one in Italy comes close to their 7 conceded. The next best is 14th place Torino with 14. In fact, get this, only Chelsea with 5 have conceded fewer goals in Europe's top 5 leagues than Napoli at this stage of the season. That's level with Man City. A quite remarkable achievement given the fact that Spalletti came in to a new side this summer. And with Milan being crushed by Sassuolo yesterday in a fantastic display, with my main man Domenico Berardi grabbing a wonderful goal. He absolutely Jerome Boateng'd Romagnoli in the end. That was their 2nd consecutive loss against the Nerazzurri, Milan that is. Spalletti's side are now 3 points clear of Milan and 4 clear of Inter, and looking like, if they keep this momentum going despite their injuries and, dealing with Osimhen's absence as well, this was really impressive from Napoli. But what did this mean for Maurizio Sarri and Lazio, Henry?
Just quickly, Diggs, I know you got a bit of a man crush on Berardi, but Scamaccia's goal was way better.
That was unreal as well.
I had to watch it a few times just to see how hard he hit the ball, just perfectly into the top corner. Anyway, check out that if you haven't already. But you're right, bit of a miserable return to Naples for Maurizio Sarri. He was obviously there between 2015 and 2018. Really the place that he made his name as a manager, sort of that detailed style of his, which we saw. But anyway, Napoli were without Victor Osimhen. He's out for 3 months. Politano as well. We also saw Anguissa. He was missing. So there was an opportunity here to try and get something out of the game, but they really did create their own issues. As you sort of alluded to, Dukes, for the first one, Cataldi intercepted the ball, but it went to Mertens. Then it fell to Zielinski to smash home. I think that's his 2nd game in a row with a goal. Cherby was turned far too easy for Mertens first. But, I mean, Mertens' finishing was just next level, wasn't it? I mean, but both of his goals. I mean, this is the only thing that slightly concerns me. It's just all the goals are at such a high level. These aren't like tap-ins which they've created on the playing playing ground. These are like beautifully taken goals, which are it's a very high level, hard to recreate a lot of the time. Anyway, not going to take anything away from that. We also saw Ospina pull off really good save. We saw some big saves this weekend. Ramsdale, etc. for Arsenal, but Ospina's save, this might be up there from Luis Alberto's volley, which would have been a beauty if it had gone in. But yeah, as we said, it is just tricky for Lazio at this, and with the defending that we saw, it's no surprise that they've conceded 25 goals in 14 games. That's 13th in Serie A, and that's 4 more than 16th placed Venezia, who put up a good fight against Inter Milan this weekend. Inter Milan, good result for them. They obviously emerged and won. But yeah, Lazio, it's been a real strange old weekend for them. They've beaten, season so far, must be said, they've beaten Inter 3-1 and Roma 3-2. But in 3 games against Milan, Juventus and Napoli, they failed to pick up a point and conceded 8 times. The key performers, though, the whole Napoli side were brilliant. Zielinski, 96% passing accuracy, 4 key passes. Seeing him back to his best at the moment. 2 shots, 1 goal. He's now contributed 4 goals and 2 assists in 13 Serie A games this season. Insigne looks alive again, and Lozano, who I'm so happy that he's, after such a tricky start to his life in Napoli, he's really pulled through, looks such a crucial element to that squad. Now they created, alongside Insigne, created 4 chances between them, but obviously Mertens, man of the match. 100% passing accuracy on 60 passes, get that. Every pass he made went to the right man, you love to see it. 2 tackles and interceptions, aerial duel, 2 dribbles, 2 shots, 2 goals. This is just the second start in Serie A this season. Really hope that Napoli can pull it off for him. I love what you said about the kit. I can never tell if Napoli's kit is really tacky or really great. It always sort of borderlines between the two.
Yeah.
There's always so much going on the shirt. It's as if they were just any sponsor could get involved. Yeah, I used to have it in the days of Hamsik, Lavezzi, Cavani. I used to have a Lavezzi shirt back then.
Did you ever try and go for the Hamsik Mohawk, Henry? I can imagine you going for that.
3 of us went on holiday to Italy and we all bought one each. I did try and roughly recreate it. But yeah, it was the Holy Trinity then. But they're performing again now. I mean, Diggs, what do you reckon? Quick take on Napoli's title chances, because I didn't see this result coming. They now obviously moved ahead of Milan after that defeat. This is the year, if there's ever going to be a year for it, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. A little bit worrying about that Osimhen injury. They'll lose Koulibaly in January as well, which feels like a big loss to the Africa Cup of Nations. But yeah, this was a superb display by Napoli. Sarri looked like he'd seen a ghost afterwards. His cigarette was pretty much extinguished in his mouth by this display from the Napoli forward. So yeah, if they keep on performing like this, AC Milan have been way overperforming their expected goals as well. I think it's probably between Inter and Napoli, to be totally honest, and say in terms of who can see the course. But yeah, I'm going with Napoli. I mean, Henry, a couple of weeks ago you were thinking Milan. Are you now changing your opinion?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe into Atalanta, they're still doing all right. Roma got a win this weekend too. I think it's fascinating. I'm so excited. Just like the Premier League, I think this is going to be a title race to remember.
Absolutely, yeah. 3-way title battles, hopefully in Italy and the Premier League. Guys, who is going to win Serie A? Let us know. I'm going with Napoli. Henry is a bit lost, to be honest. He's going with Inter. Okay, he's changing left, right, centre. Who do you guys think is going to win it? Let us know in the comments down below. And let's move on to our star of the week. Okay, for our star of the week, we've chosen STE Matthew's suggestion of Moussa Diaby. Well, he actually didn't shout out Moussa Diaby. He shouted out the entire game, asking us to talk about it. But we wanted to pick out Moussa Diaby. But there was another player, Henry, we could have mentioned.
Well, there's a couple, to be fair. I think Wanmi got a hat-trick for Real Betis this weekend, so fair play to him. But yeah, my best friend, Vinicius Jr., he did score a wonder strike as Real Madrid. Big clash against Sevilla, actually. But I think Courtois deserves a huge amount of credit for some of the saves that he pulled off in that game. I think Courtois was huge.
Unlike Bono, did you see his error for Benzema's first?
Awful.
Militao's shot from 30 yards. Even further, actually. It was really speculative.
I agree with you. He had so much time to do something. And after a really sort of strong start from Sevilla as well, they kind of laid down a marker in that game. But anyway, we're going to Germany for our star of the week this week, because we previewed RB Leipzig versus Bayer Leverkusen in our most recent Continental Club, which you haven't checked out. Go do that already. Mikey and I both went for Leipzig victories. Doogie, I think, sort of whimsically backed by Leverkusen, but and he was absolutely spot on. It ended up being 3-1 to Leverkusen, not quite the 2-0 he went for. And a big reason for that was Moussa Diaby. It was kind of a battle between him and Nkunku, the two informed French forwards on either side. But yeah, it was Diaby who came out on top after, Wirtz opened the scoring. Diaby got a glorious second goal, plucking out Jonathan Tah's sort of long ball out of the air and finishing low into the bottom right corner. Really great first touch, completely took the defender out of the game. Then he laid on for Frimpong to get his first goal in the Bundesliga to make it 3. Across the whole game, his 90 looked like this: 2 key passes, 3 shots, 1 goal, 1 assist. He also hit the post. Diaby, Dukes, you've always been a huge fan of him, haven't you? He's quality, and actually, what a win for Bayer Leverkusen. I think still undefeated away.
Yeah, massive win. Continues their little mini recovery after a little dip post that defeat against Bayern Munich as well. But Moussa Diaby's been absolutely central to all their good work this year. Still just 22 as well, but he's now got 8 goals and 5 assists in 17 League and Europa League games. Now, if you want to get a bit statty with your mates, you can tell them that his expected goals and assists per 90 have actually dropped from 0.46 to 0.38, suggesting that this run of finishing probably isn't sustainable. But Bayer Leverkusen fans won't care a bit. They're just enjoying the ride. Unfortunately, though, in terms of this game, the Bayer Leverkusen fans had to watch it from afar. Leipzig is now the centre of the new wave of infections in Germany. So this game was played behind closed doors, and it's a little bit concerning what we're seeing in Germany. Maybe we'll see it in Britain in a few weeks too as well, with this new variant, unfortunately, coming into sort of prevalence in society. Anyway, Bayern had to play in front of a 25% capacity against Arminia, and every Champions League club in Germany last week had a player missing with COVID. And Gulacsi and Jesse Marsch tested positive prior to this game as well. So it was Jesse Marsch's assistant, who I don't actually know the name of. Anyway, he was on the bench for this one. Leverkusen, though, with this win, have cemented their position in 3rd. They're 2 points ahead of 4th place Freiburg, but 7 behind Bayern. So yeah, great result for Leverkusen. We really didn't see it coming. I was just, as Henry says, I was just being a little bit different on Continental Club. But I'll take the point ahead of big match predictions this week. And guys, let us know what you guys thought of our new section on Continental Club once you finish this. And the transfer preview, which dropped over the weekend, Henry, as well, which you filmed and looked absolutely crisp. Yeah, people should definitely go watch that, shouldn't they?
Yeah, absolutely. We had some big journalists from European scene in Sky. Maurizio, he was over from Italy, which was great as well. So yeah, it was great from you. Real fun to be part of that shoot, actually. And yeah, go check out our Continental Club as well. Just quickly, stinker of the week. I just want to throw a name in.
Oh, here we go.
Romagnoli, awful. Red card.
Did get a goal though.
Fell over, red card. He's at the team again. God.
Yeah.
But yeah, do go check out our transfer preview. Sorry, I was just thinking about. When I was watching Romagnoli having a bit of a stinker, I thought he's definitely.
Yeah, he's
in trouble.
He's not had a good last sort of year, at least. The rugby tackle for the red card, absolutely bonkers. Anyway, guys, hope you guys enjoyed ERU for this week. We'll catch you later in the week for Continental Club or another one of our shows. Look after yourselves. Bye.